have your minutes from November the 6th, November the 6th, no, you don't, October the 9th meeting.
We need to review and approve the agenda.
Oh, okay. All right, has everybody had an opportunity to look over the agenda for tonight?
And that's also if anything needs to be added to the agenda. That's the reason I have to put that on there too. So.
I didn't even notice you put it on there.
Okay.
I just skipped right over it. Does anybody have anything to add? Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, aye? Okay, now we'll move on to approval of the minutes for October the 9th. Do we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Beth, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Cindy, all in favor, aye? Okay. I have several building permits, do we want to wait till the end to do those, or do we want to hear those?
The health.
We'll wait till the end to go over the building permits, okay?
Hey, let me call you back in a few minutes, I'm in a meeting right now. I'll call you back in a little while. Let's see.
All right, any public comments?
Rain turned off this morning.
We have none, we'll go to our unfinished business, which is the urban, update on the urban growth boundaries.
Beth, has that passed both hearings in the city council? I know it passed one, trying to keep it straight.
I know it passed one. I was not at the last meeting, so I'm not sure.
I think it would have been the last meeting.
I was
I'm not
there.
sure, I hadn't heard either, so I don't
I'm
know.
not sure.
Once that is done, the county mayor will need to be contacted to call a meeting of the coordinating committee, so we can get that moving forward. So maybe we can follow up and see where that stands, and then go from there.
Okay, and you had talked to the mayor about that, haven't
About the process.
you?
Yeah. And I guess the mayor will need to, is it Jack Lynch?
Yeah.
The county mayor?
Yeah.
He'll need to call the coordinating committee.
Okay.
Gina, I don't think that passed, I just don't want to read it.
I know we've done the first reading. I wasn't there last
I
night.
don't think it was even brought up.
Oh. And we can't put it on Monday next meeting because the agenda's already been set for Monday.
You might want to check the engineer and see, but I don't think it was even brought up.
You could probably vote to add it if you wanted to, could you not?
It's a public hearing and it requires 15-day notice.
Okay, that's true.
So,
We better put it on the December meeting.
let's
Yeah.
check on that. I would like to
You
get
just make a
that.
note of that, make sure it's on there.
I don't think it did,
For the next
Beth
meeting
was going on
in December.
vacation, I don't
Yeah.
think it was brought up,
Okay,
I don't think so.
yeah, if you and Beth don't care, just make sure
I
it's
mean-
on the December.
We can check with
Agenda,
Angela
so
and
it-
see if it was.
Yeah, and let me know, because I will I'd like to attend the coordinating committee meeting once it passes the city here.
Right. Okay, next, yeah. Okay. All right, we'll move on to the new business. The consideration of the plat approval for the lot line change and property in John McGee Industrial Park, requested by Scott Bowen. And this is for Curtis Line.
All right, this is up at the end of John McGee Industrial Park. This is for Curtis Lane, bought the two property the county split that they owned up. Now, I'm asking you guys, I guess, to send over to city council to approve the sale of this property. This is the property that Caryville Jacksburg Utility has future plans for their water intake plant. And it has been, I think, for years. You remember us talking about that same? So the issue is Curtis has bought the upper track. He's leveled it off. We've working with him on his stormwater, keeping his, to keep his, stormwater in compliance with the state stormwater regulations. And also, he's requested to purchase from the city, CJUC, this 75-foot strip so he can get access with the tractor trailer. It'll also help us control the stormwater from half of his site. We're going to require a large retention basin on his site. And then the spillway would be able to be in conjunction with the new access road. It'll be a new concrete road. So this is a 75 hundredths of an acre. It's 75-foot wide is the strip. And that's all. We're not asking for any kind of variance. This strip would be added to his lot 2, and you'll see that on the note also. So it'll all be combined as one tract. This won't be a separate tract.
Anybody have any questions?
And I'm asking for approval to contingent upon the signatures, and I was explaining to Harold too that I would be getting with the utilities as far as
Yeah,
the
for the
signatures.
signatures, okay. All right. Any questions? Do we have a motion to approve of the contingency of those signatures?
I'll motion
Okay. A motion by Ron, a second by Beth. All in favor, aye?
it.
Let me call you back in a few minutes.
All right, now we're moving on to consideration of rezoning property on Bruce Gap Road from R1 to R2 requested by the Indian Gap Investments. And are you speaking for them too?
Well, really, I'm not have a whole lot. I
Oh.
am here and I can represent them. If you all have any questions, I think this Harold's got the floor on this. I think you're just asking for a vote whether they go developing in R1
Or R2?
or is R2 an option. And
Okay. We went through this before, but I'm gonna ask, Mr. Edwards to go through it again and just explain to us the difference in the R1 and the R2.
The R1 is a low-density residential development zone. 15,000 square foot minimum lot requirement. R2 is now 12,000 square foot lot requirement. If you remember, I think Planning Commission recommended that change about a year ago, and it was approved by the city council. Really, the 12,000 square foot is a medium density. I work with other communities, and many of them have a 7,500 minimum square footage. So that's a little bit higher density. I even got a community that has a 5,000 square foot minimum lot size. So 12,000 square feet lot size is not really a high density. It is a medium density development. I think the difference that we calculated at the last meeting would be a difference in about 12 additional units if the property were developed as an R2 versus an R1. It can be developed with duplexes in R1. It can be developed with fourplexes or more in R2. So, figuring out about an additional 12 units to be developed in that particular site for R2, I'm of the opinion that Caryville needs to have some more medium density residential development simply because of the cost of land and the utility infrastructure is in place. Now, if the Planning Commission does make the recommendation to the city council and it is approved by the city council, then any development would come back before the planning commission for review and approval. And that would include storm drainage, that would include landscaping, that would include parking design, ingress, egress. A lot will go into the site plan review, so.
It's a detailed package that we won't be producing. We would be working in conjunction with a larger company, and we have already met with them on the infrastructure, all the plans that would be required. And it is going to be an upscale. What we're going to be geared toward is the elderly retirement age on one level, and I think they had mentioned that in the meeting before too. But like Harold said, it is going to be a detailed set of plans that
And I haven't,
normally don't get before you for this type.
I haven't seen the plans, don't really know, I'm just looking at.
And that sort of thing. The city won't be responsible for picking up any garbage.
Or maintaining the road.
Exactly, that would be under the homeowners association.
And they would put something in the back where the park is and around.
Well, it would be an
Kind of-
evergreen barrier, is what we're looking at. Is now, the existing fence, the way it is right now, is in dilapidated, half of it's down. And that fence, and of course, they've already talked with the park too about what they would do to improve that too.
Actually, that would come into play in site plan
Right.
review and approval, and the planning commission has a lot of authority in the approval of those plans, who can designate what needs to happen and how it needs to be developed, so.
Is that if we switch it to R2, we have the authority, or if it's an R1, we do?
If it's an R1, a planning and development can also be developed in there, and it would follow the same process. The only difference would be, as I mentioned, in R2, they could develop a planning development of duplexes, and in a R2, they could develop fourplexes or however they needed to. In other words, it would not be restricted to 2 units per building.
And also in R1, one of the uses is the manufactured housing, which, some developers would look at that as a potential there, and it would work great, and they would sell. But is that the best fit that, you guys want and so forth too, as far as that piece of property? It's a unique piece of property, and I see everybody's point, as far as,
And then two, if it's R2, the city could be responsible for the road, correct?
No.
Or the garbage.
not under a planned unit development. This will all be done during, and a planned unit development has to have a homeowners association.
What are the restrictions on that, Scott?
On the
Homeowner association? As far as rentals, can you rent it?
No, we put all those restrictions, and that would be, they're not gonna be so, you've got your Airbnb issues that we've had before too.
Is it going to be age group?
For the elderly, that's what we're kind of looking for.
From what age? From 50 up, 55 up?
Yeah, they, there's a similar development they've just done in Oak Ridge on the west end, if you're ever down in Oak Ridge toward the old Wiles. And it's gonna be a kind of a similar type of development. They're the ones doing that development too.
Are those,
We have nothing like that around here.
are those finished in Oak Ridge?
Yeah, they're to the point now, where you can see.
Would it be possible if we wanted to go look at those later on?
Well, that gives you an
before those
example,
start?
Jim, too, as far as, what you all are wanting to look, but again, too, it's just something that they can develop either way, and will develop, whether it be R1 or R2, they just have a lot more flexibility of making it a lot nicer too.
Let me reel that back in a little bit, because all we're looking at here is whether or not to change the zoning classification.
Right.
We can't get too far down the road on this and that. That will
Right.
come at a later point, once the developers submit any kind of plans for review. So I guess the issue at hand is, should the property be rezoned from R1 to R2?
One more question. How many, I can't remember, how many units were they putting in there? We talked about
But-
this before, I know I have notes.
I think about 50 or 51 units.
That's the limit. I mean, that's all they could,
On
but they don't
R2.
necessarily have to put
No,
that
no.
many in.
R2. R1, they could put, I believe, 38 units, 19 duplexes, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, yeah, that, I have no paperwork out here from last time.
I have a quick question. So are we saying that the only difference between the R1 and R2 zoning is essentially just how many units they're allowed to build on the property? It doesn't impact their approval for the planned unit development at all through the planning commission?
No, a planning development can be developed in the R1 or in the R2. Is that answering your question?
I mean, well, Mr. Bowen said something like there's more flexibility with the R2.
Yeah, well, that's dealing with like your open spaces and things, that, you know, the different requirements that you have as far as R2. You know, when I say flexibility, that's in the design that, because it's a planned unit development, that's the reason of a planned unit development, is give you
Yeah.
more flexibility than your standard code. But
But
it has to be kept as a practice.
a planning development can be developed in R1
Yes,
also.
oh, yeah,
So,
R2, C1, C2.
What about water drainage? Is there any
Oh, there'll be a
difference in
detailed,
R1
oh,
or
there'll be a
R2?
detailed hydrology study.
Either one, whether it stays
any-
R1 or R2.
if it's a planned unit development, we will require a drainage plan.
So that will be the cost of the owners,
Yes.
The developer.
developer.
Yeah, and the streets, even though they would be private, are required to be constructed to subdivision regulation standards.
And they'll be putting them in to those standards, because they'll be the ones that, putting the builder repair of them also.
But it's not gonna be a gated community,
Yeah,
or it is gonna be a gated
yeah,
community?
the planned unit development, you know, it's gonna be gated, it'll be all under the homeowners association, yeah. It's, I mean, the drives are private, so you really don't want.
So just anybody can't run anything out.
Exactly.
Any more questions? I mean, I know, I can't speak for all these other people, but I wanna do, me personally, and I think they would do too, wanna do what we think's best for the city of Caryville. That's what we want. And that's what I want. And I think that's, I can speak for all of us, I'm not sure, but, so that's why we're asking questions
And I understand, and like I say, I'm a own property in Caryville, own a business in Caryville, and I realize, you know, y'all's concerned, the questions y'all have too, and, I do also.
I think also
I've seen a lot of
look
other
at the
things.
citizens of the city too.
What's that now?
The citizens, you need to
Yeah.
look at them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
People that owns property around there.
Exactly, 'cause it's the
Traffic
same.
on, traffic on the highways.
I know.
And you know, all we are doing as planning commission is just voting or making a decision whether to send it to council to change it to R2. So, I mean, the council has that final say so. I mean, we could say yes and then it could just, you know, or the council could say no.
And one
And
thing,
it could stay
considering I live in the gap with you guys, is what we need to realize is regardless of what we decide here tonight, they're building something in the gap.
Oh, I know, that's the problem.
mean,
And that's a problem I
Do you
have.
want it to be something that's nice and kept up and, you know, well designed and stuff, or do you just want anything going in there?
That's my point too.
I mean, it's coming, whether we want it or not.
I know.
There's not a
They're
thing
coming
that
from
any
Kevin.
of us sitting up here can do about it.
You're exactly right.
And you know, and Scott said they can put,
Other
any kind
uses.
of home in there.
Yeah, there's
If it's a
other
route
uses for it.
one, they
Oh,
can do whatever, so. I mean,
But you'd
it's-
be limited to how many homes or double wide trailers you could put in there. It wouldn't be 51.
No,
No, but you could still, under a planned unit development, you know, you've got developers, of course, that are looking to make a profit on a piece of property. We know that also. But very few of them look at really trying to improve the community, and that's what, you know, this is no, it's an upscale development, I guess, like I say, nothing, we can have a lot worse.
I mean, I would think that like all of us that are maybe a little bit concerned about it, like we would all agree, we want, if they're gonna develop it either way, we want a nice upscale community to go in there,
Yeah.
right? That we would agree with that.
Well, it's gonna help your all's property value, I mean, it'll be a win-win in the long run, but see your all's point too, you know, it's been, people live there forever and.
It's also increased property taxes too.
Oh, yeah.
So why does changing it from R1 to R2 give a better guarantee of a high upscale development that we'd be happy with?
I can't guarantee anything, I don't guarantee anything nowadays. Crazy world.
We'll just look at the plans when they bring the plans to us, you know, and then we can ask different things, but that doesn't mean that we can
Right,
say you
okay.
can't do this or you can't do that, you know.
And again, I think we're getting too far off the course because the issue at hand is whether or not the property is suitable to be developed at a medium density as opposed to low density.
Any more questions? If not, then I will entertain a motion to move forward from the R1 to the R2 zone. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
All right, a motion by Ron, do we have a second?
How many, does it just have to have this reading and then go to the city council?
It'll just go to the city council.
There will be 2 readings at city council.
Yeah.
The first will be a reading, the second will be a public hearing. So you're looking at December for the initial reading, and then the January meeting would be the second reading, the public hearing, if it passes here.
I'll make a motion, I'll second the motion.
We have a second by Beth, will roll call please?
Ron Phillips,
Yes.
Cindy Smith,
Yes.
Janet
No,
Wormsley,
I've been meeting over in.
Bill Lawson?
Yes.
Janet Lawson.
Yes.
Vote is unanimous.
Okay.
Now we'll go to the city council.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott. All right, we'll go back to our building permits for the month. I think it was the last one. All right, we had a building permit issued for Hannah and Cotton and Joseph Hall at 232 Cotton Lane. Permit fee was $946. They're building a house there. 232, Then we have one from Jesse Ward for 203 Main Street. Well, they're actually doing
Right,
this.
that's what I was wondering.
This is final inspection for the building code enforcement officer from Lisa, $160, and I think he's remodeling the bathroom there. Then Kevin Ward, footer inspection and final inspection at 177 Main Street. And that was for $300. And then it looks like she has sent letters, code violation to Eric Overbay at 112 Overbay for accumulation of junk, trash, and debris. Tony Johnson at 318 Pine Tree Drive, Jacksboro at 542 Park Road. Accumulation of junk, trash, debris, junk vehicles, and yard needs mowed. Did she not already issue one of them?
Yeah, he just recently purchased that property
Oh.
and he's cleaning it up.
Okay. And then Donnie Burge at 370 McGee Highway for accumulation of junk, trash, and debris. The roof is in need of repair. So that's all I have there.
That was John McGee.
Yeah.
Part of it burned.
All right. Anybody got anything else? Oh, we need to discuss, January meeting, I guess.
Yeah, or we can discuss, make a decision on that at the next meeting. But
We
I want to
can.
give everybody an opportunity to discuss that. If you wanna bring it up tonight, we can.
Well, just so you know that that happens to be January first, New Year's Day.
Let's just go ahead and do it right now, move it to the next week.
Okay. Harold will be out of town, but we can still meet. If we don't have anything, if we wish to, we'll talk about it in December. If we don't have anything come up, we can always
I
cancel
can,
if we
yeah,
want
and I
to.
can prepare the agenda and make any written recommendations, so you have my recommendation on any item on the agenda.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to meet on New Year's Day.
All right.
And I could get
Does
snowed,
everybody agree with
I could
January
get
the
snowed in
8th?
and not get out of town.
Well, that's true too, you could be. You might have to move that. All right, if you have nothing else, we will adjourn. Looks like it's about 5:30.